what we have learned till today. Okay, so let's do the implementation of linear regression. Okay, that will be the topic today. So before jumping into code, let's first write a kind of a pseudo code here. Okay, so if you see, let's say for simplicity, like first we'll start with like single variable linear regression. So where you'll be having a single variable x where you have data and a single one variable y for predicting, which is a target variable. Okay, so if we can take our theta y as like theta naught plus theta 1 x, right? If you remember our previous classes, we have taken it like this. So and like for sake of vectorization, what we have done is we have taken it like theta naught x naught, where x naught is 1 plus theta 1 x 1. Let's also say 1 is doesn't matter, it can be 1. Okay, so what we have done is like this, we made it theta naught theta 1 and x naught x1, right? So or like maybe you can also write it as x naught x1 theta naught theta 1. Both can be the same, like will give you the same result. Okay, so for this case, like what we are going to do is like let's say we have taken this, now this is a y. So for this, next step is, once we now we have defined how will be our model structure. Okay, this is this. So next step would be, what would be the next step? We have to define what will be the loss function, right? So the loss function, if, in previous classes, just a kind of a correction. It's not a correction, but for a feasibility as well. Like if you remember, what we have done is we have taken like y actual minus y predicted whole square under root divided by n, right? So I'm going to do a little modification to this loss function, where instead of using this, let's use only prediction square by n. Okay, and for a kind of simple, like there is like one more use, like I'm going to also add 2 here. Okay, I'm making it divided by 2. So usually it doesn't change much of the things, because what we are interested is in derivative of this. Okay, like in while doing gradient descent, we are actually interested in gradient descent rather than actual value here. Okay, so in case if you do a derivative for a root, it would make it complex, right? Because like root derivative of root x is 1 by 2 root x. So you will have this component being there always. So, but we are actually targeting for a simpler function once the derivative is done. So in that case, what we are doing is like we are removing this root x, and let's do it only for this x square kind of thing, where it will be 2x. Okay, for this kind of like flexibility, we are moving to this loss function here. Okay, and it also have like further advantages which we will be knowing in a session where we talk about only loss function. Okay, so okay, so if you take this, what will be the e? It will be y actual minus y prediction we will be getting from here, right? This is y prediction, right? Which will be theta. Can we write x theta, or sometimes we also write like transpose theta as well. So theta transpose x as well. But okay, let's write it here like this as x theta square divided by 2n. Can we write like this? This will be, this is it, right? So third step. What is the third step? Gradient descent. So for theta new should be theta old plus alpha into, sorry, it's not plus, it will be minus, because it is gradient descent, right? So gradient descent is like negative. Okay. So think about it like that. So alpha into its derivative of d theta by dt. Okay. So we also have to calculate derivative now. Let's do the calculation part. Once we do the calculation in our code, what will remain is to implement finally what we have calculated. That would be enough. Like we don't have to do all this computation in code also. So the final result, what we get, like those things, if we have implemented, then it would be enough. Okay, let's do that. Minus alpha into, uh, so alpha is the learning rate, right? So what will be the derivative of this? Now let's d by d, it will be dou by dou theta. That's okay. Partial derivative is y actual minus x theta square divided by 2n. Okay. So let's compute that first. Minus alpha into, so if you see, y actual is a kind of value, right? So it doesn't depend on theta here. Okay, so that is a constant, and even 2n is also a constant. So let's remove 2n outside first. Okay, and d by d theta of uh, sigma, can we write the sigma also outside? And then you go inside and do d by d theta for this x theta square. Okay, so let's make one more step forward into 1 by 2n into, so this looks like there is sigma anyway. I'll going to write it in it. So here, if you look it here, it's like 2x, right? It's in the form of 2x. So derivative is, sorry, it's in kind of a form of x square. So derivative would be 2x. So 2 into, let's write sigma. Let's write sigma in the end. Like it will be confusing now to write. Okay, 2 into, you have y actual minus xt, but we also have to do derivative for this, right? It's like if you have d by d t of x square, you write it like 2x into d by dx by dt, right? If you remember, this is how we are doing, because like we are doing derivative initially, it is x, then it is just 2x. But if we are doing it with another variable, we also have to do derivative of that variable with variable down. Okay, so this is with this kind of formula, like we also have to do derivative for what is inside that sphere, so which will be this. So this is little important. Please focus at this point. So minus this 2 cancels, right? So alpha by n. So this is the reason actually we kept 2 here, because it gets cancelled later. So and then y at minus xt. So into this actual is just a constant. So derivative of that will again be a constant, right? So to that, in case if we are multiplying this, now it's xt, right? So it's like x is anyway independent. It's independent of this theta, because it's x is just a numbers here, right? So it is also a constant. So and d by d theta value would be, what would be d by d theta value? It will be theta, right? Like you have dx by dt d theta. This will be x, right? So you have x here. Okay, and there will be a negative sign. Okay, so okay, and you have negative for that. Okay, so finally there is a sigma here. So what we will be getting is theta old minus alpha by n. You can write x into y actual minus x theta. Okay, under sigma. Okay, so there will be negative sign. I'm just looking, I'm wondering why this negative sign also will come. Okay, let's write negative only. So it will make it this. Okay, so this is what finally what we get. Okay, so we have to implement this part. So don't get scared, it will be easy while doing it and implementing it in code. So now you have gradient descent, you have loss function, you have what is the model definition. So is there anything else we have to do? Nothing else. Just that finally, once you run it for like few iterations, finally prediction would be, what would be the prediction? Prediction would be y equal to mu theta into x, or x into nu theta, like what we have wrote here. So this will be our prediction. We have to implement this. We have to implement this and this as well, because we also calculate this and then do this, right? So okay, not required, or maybe so we need this, right? So these are the four things which we have to code for getting a final prediction here. So let's jump to a coding and then see. So I am a little concerned about this minus here. Will be minus or plus? I'll look at it at this like, and well, let's come back here and correct it when we need. Okay. So now let's switch to Jupyter and try to code this. Okay. Okay. So I have opened Jupyter notebook here. So I have made the code readily available already. So, but let's also code it separately in a new notebook and take some kind of help from here. So let's make one more. So, okay. So next part would be, yeah. So next part, initial part would be, we need some data for doing this. So what I have done is, like, there are also some data sets which we can use, but I also created a dummy data set myself. Let's use that. So anyway, like, we'll also be working on some data set, open source data sets available, but initially let's do it. In Okay, so we may also need NumPy. Just copy it from that, all the necessary packages. So these are the things like which we'll be needing. Okay, so we require like NumPy, and for plotting we are using Matplotlib, and Pandas for data processing. Okay, so these are the things what we have. Okay, so next part is like, I create a dummy data set here. I'll also tell like how I have created it. So let's also write like data creation. Okay, so if we have this kind of headings, it will be easy to distinguish each part of code. So So here, like what I'm trying to do is I'll be making it like one step at a time and run it. So just that I am taking one value. Let's also print it. So I'm just taking some range of 1 to 20, like just 20 rows here. So which will be from 0 to 19. So and the next part is like I am renaming the column from 0 to like here the column name looks like 0. So I am making it as X and running it. So if you see, your column name became X. And next part is like I'm making Y here. Okay, like I'm also having Y here, where this Y is 1 point. It can be anything randomly. I just gave this number 1.63 into X plus 23, and randomly I added some values to X. Okay, like because in case if it is only this, it will be a perfect straight line, right? Your all your points will be just a straight line. So I randomly added some value. It will be from 0 to, if this np dot random actually will give you, let me value here. Okay, it is explained during our like session in Python session when we talk about NumPy, but I'll just give you some value here. Okay? So if you put like np dot random of 2, it will generate two values like within range, like it will be 0 to 1. So you want some number, random number within like 0 to 10, you multiply this with 10. So uh, like it is jumping over there. So what it will do is, see, it is generated some value. It will be so completely randomly, where like you have like if one is like 6 point something, one is 2 point. It will be in the range 0 to 10. Okay. So I did the same here. I generated like same numbers. How many numbers is like how many is the length of the data frame? We call df. So the same number of lines, like I have generated some value and I have added to each of the rows. Okay. So how many rows you have, those many random numbers within 0 to 10. And after doing that, I am adding to the rows here. Let's see what you'll be getting. See, let me delete this. Okay. So if you see, you have some values for X and Y. Okay. So let's not put this, let's not draw that, and then see, you are getting some values. Okay, 23, 24 points, something like this, because I added 23 here, right? So it started from 23. Let's not see all the values. Let's see only few values here, because it's consuming a lot of length of this notebook. So I'm seeing only 5 by doing this dot head. Okay. So let's try to plot, because here we did not do any random. So for plotting, there is a we use matplotlib for plotting. We are plotting between X and Y. Okay. So for plotting X and Y, means X axis we have this column like 0, 1, 2, 3 and all, like, and Y axis we have this. Okay. For plotting this, you can do it like this. DF, like this is in data frame, right? We are storing it in DF. So DF of X, DF of Y. So if you plot, so it is perfect straight line, right? So if it is direct perfect straight line, it is very easy for us to get it, right? So then what I have done is I have added this random values here, so that you won't get that perfect straight line. Instead, it will for each value I am adding some value here and there. Okay. So like that. So let me, the 10 would be large, maybe let's give it 5. So let's see now, like I have already run it. Let's see what will happen. See, these values are slightly different, right? Okay, it's not varying too much. Let's give 10, because we are making something closer to a real data set. Okay, so this looks fine. Okay, but still, like now what we have to do is we have to get a kind of a line which will approximate this relation between X and Y. you have x in this axis, horizontal axis, and y showing it in vertical axis. Okay, so next step would be, so what will be the next step is like first thing what we are trying to do is here observe quite cleanly, like if you remember in our code what we have done is like first step is so if you remember, if you remember here, the first thing what we have done here is we have like for the x, like we added some x naught column with 1. Okay, so this is the first thing what we have done here at this level. So now let's also add like something similar to this in our code as well. Okay, so let's, okay, coming here, what we'll be doing is, so you have df of x here. Okay, so which will be like this. Okay, so if you want only values, we can see like, so it's like 0 1 2 3 4 so on like this. So for this we also have to add one more, which will be x naught as 1. Okay, let's add it like, we can, if it is same number everywhere, we can add it like this. Okay, I am making it x0 equal to 1. So see, let's see how this will change. See, like it has created a new column x naught with 1. Okay, now our idea would be to take x naught and x, right? So the capital X, like what we will be taking will be x naught and x. So just a moment, I'll make it like instead of x, uh, x, I make it as x1. Let me plot it with x1. This will be okay. So let's run it again. Okay, so wow, so what happened here? So okay, yes. So all in all the codes, like we wrote it X, right? So we did not change in every place. So we got this error. So now it would be fine. Okay, let's run it from here again. Okay, so you have X naught and X. So what would be our capital X for training is, let me write data X. Okay, it can be anything. We can write anything. Okay, for training, right? Let's write train X equal to, so what we want is only x naught and x one, right? So you mention those values here, x naught comma x1 dot values. So let's see what we are going to get from this. Okay, let me, so before going there, let's see what is this x naught and x1 will be having. So instead of all, I'll be showing only head to you. So if you see x naught, and if you represent it like this, you will get the columns what you have given in this order. So I have given these columns. So it will be 1 0 1 1. This x naught is 1, right, always. So your x1 is changing like this. So this is what you have. So next step is like what I am trying to do is I am taking the values what are here in a try next. Okay, it will be a kind of numpy array which contains these. So let me show it. So see, this Trinex is this thing, like just we have seen some time back, right? So let's see the shape of it. It is 20 comma 2. It means we have 20 rows and 2 columns here. Okay. So the next step could be, so you got X like how we want, and similarly we have train Y. Okay. So train Y would be TF of, we have it in Y column, right? Dot value. So what this will do is it will create a train Y. Let's see the shape. It's 20 column, means like one column, 20 rows or something like this. Okay. So now you have a matrix. So these two are in form of matrix now. Now we, if you want to do multiplication and all, like those are possible. So and next step would be like for here, what would be your, we also have to define theta, right? So then our model definition would be ready. So let's also have it here. So before that, let me add it here like model definition. Okay, so we'll be seeing like each phase like this, right? So finally we'll be able to combine all there. So this is what we have. So after this, so what would be the next step is so you have train X, this one, this one. So next step would be to define theta so that we can write y equal to some x into theta, something like this, right? So theta, let's write it with like this. Let's represent theta matrix as like this, and we want it in the kind of matrix, right? So and that matrix initially, let's take 0 values. So we can take np dot 0. So in numpy we have 2 comma 1. Okay, let me see like what this will give. See 0 0 comma 0. Okay, so this is nothing but what we have done in like in theory. What this is theta naught and this is theta 1. We represented both of them in a kind of matrix. So let's see dot shape and then see what is the shape. It is like 2 rows 1 column. Means like first row like one, this is 1 column, right? Completely. So this is first row, this is second row. Okay, where you have theta naught and here it's the theta 1. Okay, so this is how it is. So now next step would be to, what in case if you want to do prediction, right? So what would be the prediction y is, would be x in train x into theta. So let's see this. If you got an error saying that, okay, we actually have to do dot product between these two. So for that we can do, right, dot dot. We have to represent it like this, then it will happen. Okay, so if you see your final y will also be like after multiplication of like 20, this is 20 into 1, right? Oh, this is 20 into 2 columns if you remember earlier, and next is 2 into 1, then your final value would be of shape like 20 into 1. Okay, so now we have defined, our first step is done where we have defined the model. So next is the actual critical step where we define error function. Loss function. Okay, so what will be the loss function? If you remember, we have taken something like error equal to 1 divided by 2m into 2n into, and sum of, let me write sum of, it's not code, like just for mentioning it here I am writing it, sum of, and you have squares of y actual minus y credit, which is x into theta. Okay, something like this. We should be writing something like this. This is square, right? So we can write square like this. So this is what we want. This is like just I wrote it for having it here. This won't get executed till we write anything. So this is what we have. Why is it not? Let me put like x, so then it will be like multiplication. Okay. So this is how it is. So next step would be to implement this here. So loss function would be, let's do it. It will be similar, right? Like if you can understand this formula, what we have to do is, so we have this n is like length of your matrix, like this 20 would be your n, right? But this will vary every time, right? So you have to calculate directly by yourself. How you can do it is, you can do length of, we will only need actual values here. So train y. So if you see, you'll be getting this 20. So what we should be doing is this n equal to 20. We can write like this, right? So, and next step would be, you got this, you have this actual, actual is this train by only, and you have x, you have theta. So we have everything. So let's make it as a kind of a function and then define these things. Okay, loss function, and then define your x in, let's write like input x, input y, like that. So just that it won't disturb actual values outside. So input x, input y, and then what else you need? Theta you need. Okay, so this would be enough. So for writing this, so where you have n as length of input y now. Okay, and your theta, these are all available. So this is slightly, please focus for here. So your error value. So if you see here, error value would be, so what else we need? So let's say 2 divided 1 by 2 into n. Okay, this part is done. Okay, let's put it in a bracket so that it won't get confused. We don't get confused. It won't get confused anymore. So next, sum of, like usually if you do a matrix multiplication, it will give the sum directly. Yes, okay. Let's make it like this. This is actual, and this is theta. Actual is what? Let's here we are thinking that actual, we are be sending it in this argument. Actual minus x into theta into, so let's also write it as input theta so that it doesn't mess up outside. Okay, so and for this we need square. Okay, like let's also implement sum at like sum would be just sum of this would be enough, like it will automatically do it, or maybe we have to do np dot sum. Will be no, like while doing, like let's see how it will be. Okay, so this is how your error value will be. So now, so it has looked complex, like we were able to implement it. Okay, so in case we want, let's calculate it for values what are now. Okay, train x, train y, comma theta is theta again. So okay, train score y. Operand, yeah, this multiplication, we got this error sometime back, right? We have to do this dot, then we will be able to get it. Okay, so what is it saying? Just a moment. I think some issue with this. Like initially, let's not do this. Okay, is it issue now? No. Okay. So what is it saying is like XOR. Let's first calculate this part with the values directly. Then we'll be able to know. Like let's calculate X theta. This is possible, right? Like we have done it sometime back. This is theta. So this we are able to get. Okay. So let's also add this minus train y before. So we are able to get this as well. And next step is doing the square. Okay. But why do we need this square? But it is like, do we need it? So actually we need that like derivative after derivative calculation, right? So if we need it, so okay, let's also do it like it's not a problem. NP dot sum of, so there is square, right? Where you multiply this. This is what dot sum if you do, dot shape if you do. It will be 20 into 1. So okay, so that one if you can't square directly, right? In off square something like this. So that has become an issue here. So we can what we can do is we can get values each one, like if you want to do square there is this dot and then doing it, but this is not necessary for our calculation. Actual thing necessary is uh, this this part, like what we'll be doing the gradient part. So but what I have done here, I did yesterday. Wow, okay, I have done this square. Okay, representation is like this. This is a problem. Okay. Wow. This time we did not give it. Okay, no, we did not. Did we run it? Yes. So if we run it, we are able to get the values. Like what is it is the representation of doing square power. I mistakenly wrote it as something like this. Okay, this kind of symbol here. So that has been the issue. In case we put star star, we are able to get it. Okay. So then what it has done, it has added all these things, and then we have got like this as well. Okay, it has squared each of the value. Now we have to do sum. Okay, finally we are able to get some value. Okay, so this is what is expected anyway. So here what exactly happened is, let me share you our something here. If you go back to our notes, we like in the first session. Okay, where we have, let me jump there. Okay, so yeah, so if you remember in this session what we have done is we have done this calculation, we have done this like negative, and finally we have added those things, right? So these kind of things is what we have done. Finally what we got here is something similar to that. Here we did not do the squaring part, but finally apart from that, this is what we have done. Like each thing we have multiplied with theta, and the error what you got, like that we have summed up, right? The same thing this code will do. Okay, so that is one part. So this is one more part. So that implementation is done now. So next part is the main critical part, gradient descent. The optimization part, algorithm. So this is where we'll be. Uh, so if you take the gradient descent algorithm, let me again jump back to the our nodes. Okay, so if you let's go to the pseudocode like what we have, right? So here if you see, this is what we have to implement now, right? uh, you can see this is what we have to implement. Okay, directly this one we don't have to again follow all the steps here, what we have, how we have derived the final one. So but we finally have to implement this part. Okay, it will be nothing but so let's do that part. Okay, just a moment. What I'll try to do is I'll okay, so let us switch back to our screen. So I have also inserted this image in our notebook. So formulae here as well in our notebook. I have inserted it here. So now next step would be to implement this formula here. Okay. So how we can do that is, so it's like let's call this as theta new. Okay. First let's calculate the inner part, then we can come here because it is quite lengthy. So n, again we know length of train y. Okay, and next part is like y actual minus y xt, right? The same thing we already have done it here. So this part we can take it from here. So it's not squaring, there is no squaring here, just this part. And with this we have to do a matrix multiplication with x. Okay, so which will be again np dot x would be input x comma this. Okay, so let's see if we are able to come till here. Input x. Okay, we are having train x train where right in outside. So input x are like inside the function. So let's go here, do it first. Train x, input x again here. So this will be y. Okay, let's run it. So theta as well, it is actual theta, but rather than. Okay, so next step is like it came like issue as this level. So it is not in train x, like we have to do a transpose of it, and for it like we have to add because we got a dimension issues there. So finally once you do that, you are getting something in this range. See, now this calculation what we did is this part. Okay, till sum will also happen automatically because this is a metric dot product. So it will happen till this part. Okay, next part is like we have to do alpha and then n. Those are just what you say a constant, right? We just have to add those things. So this is what is our dl by dv by d what you say this part. Okay, so let me write it as gradient error gradient. So if you are confused, like you can also do one step at a time, but this is what you will be getting finally. Okay, like okay, so you got the gradient. Now the gradient will also have this 1 by n inside. So let me also add that. Okay, so do it 1 divided by n. Okay, so this is what will be our gradient. So let's see its gradient now. So these values, right? So now this value should be used for our theta, right? So let's call learning rate as alpha here. Alpha equal to, let me put it 0.01. Okay, so now theta new. Okay, so the next part would be, so if you remember, like now we are ready with gradient here. So the previous theta, so let's call it like theta old, and for this we have to subtract this gradient from it, right? So this will be our new theta. Okay, let's keep it entire thing in a function and then run it. So definition would be compute gradient descent. Okay, and then okay, sorry. So let me change all this train x to input x and like this. So these will be the values which we'll be using. So in argument inside function. So let's use the same here and make these changes wherever there is x. I'm replacing with this. Similarly, wherever there is a y, I am going to replace with this. And similarly, theta part, I am replacing with input theta. This will be this, and this will be a new theta. Okay, we are actually storing it in the same thing. Still, it's fine. So this is what, along with this alpha, all those things also, like let's give it here as an input because we can play with it in later. Okay, so this is what we need, right? So this is about gradient descent. Okay, and you will be, let's return the new theta here. Okay, so this is what is the gradient descent. So first let's compute for values what we have now. So in case if you train x, train y, this is theta, and alpha, let's give it as 0.01. So if you run, you'll be getting some value. Okay, so and if you run again, let me also run it one more time. So you'll see it will change because like we are modifying the same theta here. Okay, so see it started changing, right? Yeah, one thing like I did not add is like alpha I did not add here, so it is blowing up so badly. So okay, so this will do it. So this is one more thing why actually this learning rate, smaller learning rate is required, because if you see this theta, it is increasing like so much. Okay, so now it is already very bad. So let me initialize it back to np dot zeros of 2 comma 1. Okay, so it has come back to a normal value. So let me do it now. So if you see now, it's not varying like how it used to vary earlier. Okay, so this is a, now it is okay. Like previously it went to like 1000 directly. So that is an issue. So let's see now. Next part is like now it is ready, right? Like theta is ready. Then next part would be just a minute. So along with this compute gradient, let's also store the date, like what you call, okay, like let's write it in some other way. Okay, now let's see here, I'm running it again on top of this cell, right? But in reality, like you need a for loop for running it. So let's do that. So how implies how many times you want to correct this thing. Let me switch back to this, then I can show you back my notes, and then we can see like why we are doing all this. So if you can see here, let me go back to our notes here. Okay, so this part, let's say like one time we got this, and next time we got this, next time again we got this, next time one more time here. So similarly we have done it multiple number of times. Okay, so actually you have to decide how many number of times your algorithm should execute in a loop, so for achieving a better value. Usually what you will be doing is you will try to get this error like very less till the time you want it. Okay, so it may be like 10 iterations, like 50 iterations, 100 iterations, depending on your data set as well. So and apart from this, you also I can set a kind of condition that if your error value is less than some 10, like you can stop it, something like that. Okay, such kind of conditions you can do. But as of now, for simplicity, I'm going to give it as like let it run for 10 iterations, something like that. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so what we'll be doing is for let me write as we call it number of iterations. Let me call it 10. Okay, it means like we want this to be run for 10 iterations. Okay, for I in range, let me put a for loop here and directly use this range this thing. So it will run for like 10 times. Okay, let me print I and then C. Okay, see 0 till 9 it will run, right? So this is one part. So now the next part, okay, for loop, inside for loop, what we need is, so initially you have this theta as, where is our theta? Okay, yeah, initially we have this theta as this thing. Okay, let me write it here. And now you are calculating a gradient descent on top of this like this, right? You want it inside a iteration. So as well, along with this, we also calculate the loss. Also, let's also store. We also calculated loss here, right? So let's also store like how much is the loss per this theta. Okay, so let's store this. Let's store it in a kind of a list. Okay, definition we're adding it here. So loss value list. Okay, I'm doing it like this, and let me store this value inside this. So if it is adding into a list, we have to do dot append. Okay, so this will store this in a list, and this will add. Okay, so now next step is running this would actually give you new theta in the end. Let's print that new theta. Okay, so now all is done. Just set input x, input, and theta would be theta, right? So, and number of iterations, you want it to be run till 10. So print, let's print like what are the values at this level. So let me put it in a new line. Okay, so let's print all the thetas, like how it is varying across multiple iterations. Like first one would be iteration, and then would be theta, and then would be our loss. Okay, I'm printing all these three every single time. So let's run it. Okay. So if you see, first time your thetas are like in the 0 iteration, your thetas has changed to something like this, and your loss is like this. And next time your like your second iteration, your thetas has been like this, and loss is like this. If you see, did I implement it well? Like if you can see, it is exploding, right? So there should be minus here. Like if you remember in what we have done, let's see this. Let me put a minus sign here. Okay. Cool. So let's see it now. If you see our loss values, okay, this is the loss value. So if you see, it has been like 157 first, and one it ran again, it became 105, and it ran again, it became 102. Next it is 101, something like this. It is slowly uh, coming down, right? So this is, you can observe that it is decreasing. Similarly, your theta values are also changing. Okay, so this is what is happening here. So just a moment. Now this is how your let's also plot it. Okay, let's I have plotting graph here directly. Let me take that. So let me plot this here. So what I'm trying to do here is this loss values, like what we are getting here. So I'm trying to plot. Okay, so let's plot and see loss value. See here, it initially it has been something like one near to 160. It has dropped down like every iteration, and it is coming towards zero. It's not zero. Still it is 100. So if you run it for like more iterations, okay, let's run it for 100 iterations. See, it's going down still, right? So if you run it for somewhere like 1000 iterations, let's see how it is going to change. See, it's coming close to zero, right? So right, if you can see it. So now instead of alpha being like 0.1, let's make it like 0.01. Let's make it 0.1. And now see, now it's like it came to zero almost towards like 1000 iterations. Let's see it. So it has banged very far. Okay, like I don't know the issue here. Okay, so okay, something issue with the initialization or okay. So if you see point zero, point one, it has like it is like this. So if you put like 0.01, okay, we are making a much slower learning rate. Now let's see what will happen. Okay, so if you can see there, yeah, if you can see here, it still not came to like zero. It was like initially it is 800. From there, it came to 100. Even though you ran it for like 1,000 iterations, if you have to run it for like something like 10,000 iterations, I'm not printing this because it's going very. So okay, uh, I have run it for 10,000. Now it is coming towards zero. If you can see it here. So this is the kind of slowness you will be getting in case if you use a slower learning rate. Okay, something like 0.01 would be fine. Where okay, you don't need like 10,000 iterations here because it came to zero before itself. So some 1,000 iterations, it was able to come to zero, right? Something around 500 800 itself, it has come close to 10 or something. So slowly it has decreased here. So this is how loss function, what we are looking at, like we have seen it in our notes, right? Like in our lecture, that is how it looks like. So let me also introduce you something. So just yeah. So something like this. Let me share my session notes so that. So if you remember in last class, we were talking about something. Yeah, this one anyway. Like let me also show you this. So this is the one which we have seen now. This particular graph here. So if it is alpha is less, so alpha is more, like it's decreasing faster. So let me draw one more graph here. Okay. So if alpha is fast, it is decreasing like this. Okay. So if alpha is slow, very low, it is decreasing some. Sorry, this is faster. This is slow. Slowly it is going towards zero. But if alpha is fast, it is coming to zero immediately. Okay, that difference you can observe. So this is faster alpha, it comes to zero. It means like higher alpha. If it is lower alpha, it will go to zero, something like this, like this, like this. Okay. somewhere if you have to go for like very so many iterations where it will go to 0. So that is the difference. Okay, so also we discussed last time that we could also do this kind of plot for theta not like theta 1 and theta 2 or something like this, where we can get a 3D plot where we can visualize this kind of plot here, right? So we can also do something like this. So let's do that now and see how we can plot. Okay. Okay. So let me share the screen again. Let's go back to notebook. And actually, I already have implemented it. I'll be adding that code here. So it's nothing but okay. Before that, let's also plot what we have learned, right? Let's also plot it here. Okay, then you will actually understand what has happened here. Okay, so for the values, you can do the prediction, right? So let me copy that line here. So this is what we have. Let's define it as a function. Let me define a function here where we are trying to plot data like with here we wrote it as input data is there for us, so that's okay. And theta, let's make it like input theta so that there won't be any issue. Okay, so let's do it. So for this, now what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to take this plot regression and for every case, okay, let's first draw it like for what we have learned finally after all our like learning here for few iterations, what actually it has tried to plotted here. So let's plot it and then you'll be able to. Oh, I did not run it. So let me run it. This one. Okay, so let's run it here. There has been an error here. Okay. So yeah, let's plot only x1, right? Like instead of both, let's plot only x1 here. So which will be one column. Like we can't do both columns at a time. So there will be comma here. Okay. So this is what is your data point, right? So and this is what it has learned.